Hello. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Here we are again. It's been a few days. Good to see you all coming in. So, I wanted to talk to you today about something I've been thinking about for a while, ever since I talked to Doug over a year ago about taking different concepts and things that tactics that cults use to manipulate its followers and even the masses, right? Um, Media and different characters and people that are leaders and opinion leaders, as they say in Scientology, can use these tactics to control people and to retrain their brains, right? And in a negative way. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I've been thinking I want to read, well, I want to listen to the book again, but I do want to get a copy of Stephen Hassan's, what is it called? I think it's something about mind control. I forget. Oh, combating cult mind control. And of course, he talks about the bite model, which is what he based his thesis on when he got his doctorate, a real doctorate. And he worked, I believe it was with a Harvard think tank or professors from Harvard. I believe it was Harvard, and they encouraged him to write his thesis and get a obtain his doctorate, and also because his theory became something that they could do a study on, and also maybe possibly, fingers crossed, be used to in the courts to change laws in Congress or whatever the legislative branches, but also in the courts, or things like such as human trafficking and all the things that we talk about, coercive control. So I wanted to break down this process that he talks about. It's called unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. And don't worry, I'm not going to lecture you. It's not going to be dry, hopefully. I just want to throw out some things. And of course, I will completely interact with the chat and see what your thoughts are on it. So this is my understanding of it. I didn't pull it up to show you, but there are some articles which that have been helpful for me. Sorry, I can't talk today. And I will put those links in the chat in the description of the video. Okay. So let me take a drink of tea. And why not? Even though it's a serious topic, we can do a Xena Marlene. It kind of calms me down, makes me think of Doug. Okay. All right. And speaking of Doug, I know that combating mind control was left on his doorstep when he was still in Scientology. And he almost read it out of spite. He's like, what the heck's this? He's like, whatever. Okay, I'll read it. And it changed his life. It changed his mind and made him realize that he had been controlled. And so he escaped Scientology, and, he paid a heavy price for it, but at the same time, he was free, you know? So it's a really good book. Yeah, F. Marley. Thank you, Asen. That's right. Oh my God, Sin. Good morning, everyone. Oh, hell no. Hi, Sin. Good to see you, friend. It's been a while. Hey, Poet. How you doing? Tony. Did he ever find out who left the book? I thought he knew, but I'm not sure. Does anyone remember? I'm not really sure. He does know. Okay. George. All right. When you write it in the chat, I'm pretty sure he did know. Somebody gave it to him that he knew, but I don't remember who it was. Yeah. Yeah. So, there's a process that he talked about, and I'm looking down at my notes, called unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. And it's basically like changing who you are. I know in my cult, my whole identity was changed, my way of thinking. And it was a slow process. Now, when I look back, it was like very insidious. And I want to go through it from my own experience and absolutely get it was a friend of his. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hey, Vanessa. Hi, sweetie. If you haven't seen Growing Up in Scientology's last interview last night with Vanessa. It was so great to meet you. I didn't get to talk to you, but hopefully someday soon. And oh, it was great. It was 4 hours, but I was on the edge of my seat. I loved listening to her. I have to say, Vanessa, the first hour in the chat was all about talking about your beautiful silver hair. And everybody was like, because there are a lot of ladies, let's face it, there's a lot of ladies that watch and around my age, a little bit younger, a little bit older. But yeah, everyone was talking about your hair. And when they got over that, then we were really just amazed by your story, and thank you so much for sharing it. It didn't feel like 4 hours at all. It really didn't. All right, so unfreezing. I was thinking about the process that was used on me, and it was strange because I was actually brought up in a very culty atmosphere. So when I joined the super scary evil cult when I was 20, I was already conditioned. I had already been, for lack of a better word, groomed to accept a lot of things. But there were some layers of things that I did not feel comfortable with. One of them was the real focus on uh, casting out demons and just always being so suspicious of everyone on the outside world. It became more and more paranoia. And I remember, like, when Marlene would say something really bizarre, I would look around to, well, at that point it was my housemates, because we were in like a Sea Org type situation, because we were in like a communal living, and we were in a lot of sense like really being controlled, even outwardly too, with like food and sleep and work and everything. So I I would look around at everybody else, and it was like I would end up gaslighting myself, because I'm looking around and seeing that people seem to be accepting of the crazy shit she's saying. And I'm like, there must be something wrong with me. Like, I must be the crazy one. I must be the one that's off, because everybody else seems to think that this is fine. Right. And I wish at that point I had just walked away and respected my own boundaries and respected my my own autonomy. It's very hard when you invest in a person, when you invest in a group, when you invest in friendships, and even in a program. It's really hard to walk away, because you get that was it sum cost fallacy? Duncan calls it equity rescue. Like when you put so much into a used car, and you just keep pouring money into it and pouring money into it and pouring money into it. At what point is enough, right? At what point do you stop investing more of yourself into something? So, I guess what I described right here is pretty much groupthink, right? And it is a very powerful thing. I feel like not only is it can be physical, it can be in a physical place, it's mental, but also, like, I do believe I think I am slightly spiritual still, and I do think that there's just something other about it. There's something that can draw you in and just, um, freeze you, right? Just make you kind of frozen in your tracks, where you don't feel like you can assert your own will, that you can assert your own autonomy. And I remember Marlene just like explaining things away in a way that I couldn't understand it, but then she'd be like, "You just trust God and you'll understand someday." Or, "You poor thing, I understand, but you just trust me. I've never steered you wrong," which she did. She did. And it was kind of almost too late before I realized that she had. But I'll admit, I kind of worshiped her. Maybe not even kind of. I I felt like she made me feel special, right? I mean, Marlene would be like, I mean, she kind of turned later on. It was kind of a bitch, right? But at first, she was like, "I want to be, like the mother you never had," or "I love you so much. I'll always be here for you." She's up the street, she's 3.5 miles away, kind of rotting, probably in a bed. And she wasn't there for me. She was there for herself. She was there for herself. And if I didn't fit her agenda, there was hell to pay, you know, just throw me away. And it was bad because I felt like I was nothing without her, which is really, really sick. But it became a codependent relationship that I felt like I needed her. And obviously she didn't need me. Hey Cal, how you doing, honey? Good to see you. Miriam, Scientology up north. Hi there. So yeah, so I wrote, don't worship a person. Um, and another thing about the unfreezing is it can be very subtle. At least it was with me, because at first I went into Door of Hope being love bombed, right? I felt accepted. I felt like I was finally that I came home, that I belonged somewhere, and you get that sense of community, right? And I kind of correlating it to, even like, you can do that in real life, in groups and things like that, like different settings in your life, and also online. Let's face it. I mean, there's communities going on where it does kind of suck you in, and you have to. I know I have to kind of take a step back sometimes and say, is this really what I want? Is this really how I think? And kind of taking stock every once in a while to be like, okay, is this healthy? Is this still good for me? Right. And I want to talk about what I put in the title about desensitization. I came into the cult with a certain way of looking at things. And then before I knew it, it was like a wearing down and desensitization of, no, this is okay. And this is okay. And this is okay. And it wasn't okay, but I accepted it, which is just, now that I look back, I'm like, why did I do that? Well, it was like they say, with a frog in the boiling pot of water. And you can look back and say, oh my God, at what point did I flip the switch and start accepting the unacceptable? I don't know exactly when that was, but it was subtle enough. But there were certain things that, like casting out demons out of my 7-year-old, I knew that was wrong. And that was the beginning of the end. But I had gotten so deep into it that it was so hard to turn things around and get out. It took an effort, a lot of effort. And, you know, Marlene would, for some reason, she wanted to keep us, even though we didn't want to be there. Kind of like how Aaron talks about people that don't want to be in Scientology. They'll go to the ends of the earth to keep them. Like Vanessa was talking about that last night. I mean, they went through great lengths to bring her back and did horrific things to her. And oh my God, I was crying so hard. It was like, oh, so sad. But yeah, they will go through great lengths to try to trap you. And then other people, Marlene would just decide that they were heathens, or they were she called them carnal Christians, which is like, I don't know, like, it's called, like, carnal means the flesh. Like, they're just base individuals. They don't understand. They're not chosen. They're not the chosen ones, which now I'm not the chosen one either. I'm on the dung heap. So she would just say everybody was going to end up on the dung heap that didn't agree with her. So, like I said, it's a slow process, and especially if you invest your emotion and your mind and your will into, oh, nice kitty, George. Giorgio's in the back with his kitty. um, if you invest so much, it's hard to turn it around. And I was thinking, like, there's certain things that I like that I'm too sensitive for. And maybe one of my baby boys gets this from me. Well, he's not my baby, my middle child. He's a very sensitive person, and he feels very deeply. And I do too. Like, I don't really like horror movies. My two of my kids love that kind of stuff. They're very tough mentally, and they can handle stuff like that. I can't, like things like horror movies. And I know that one of my sons is very, very sensitive. And I would definitely call him an empath, but it can be a superpower, but it can also be an Achilles heel, right? Because, like, he's just a delightful person to be around. Like, he's so accepting of people. He's just such a sweetheart. And unfortunately, that can set him up for being vulnerable to control, from being targeted by potentially manipulative people. you know? So I think that it's good to kinda know, uh, I guess, your constitution and what you can handle, and like I said, kinda keep short accounts, like taking stock and stepping back every once in a while and being like, you know, if what I'm doing in the group I'm in or the things that I am letting into my mind, is this healthy for me? Right. And that's why I said, shield your mind and don't be desensitized, because at one point, if something that you are um, surrounding yourself with doesn't feel healthy anymore, it's okay to cut it off, and it's okay to not let it desensitize you, where all of a sudden you're accepting the unacceptable, and that's what I did in the cult. I let it creep in and creep in and creep in, and looking around, and everybody else seems to be, accepting of it, and, the whole demon thing and the starvation and the judgment and the ridicule. I mean, it was just so icky, so icky. And then when it started affecting my children, then enough was enough. And then I started to turn the ship around and go in a better direction for me and my family. So, oh, thanks. Thanks, Mama Squirrel. Yeah, I can't remember where I got these, but I had them in a package for a while. I have some on the other window too. But yeah, I kind of like the boho look. But thank you. Yeah, and it matches, like, I think it matches my chairs, and I've got these little, like, tassely things all around the room. I'll have to take some pictures. But Mama Bear kicked in. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you mess with my kids, definitely Mama Bear moment. So I just wanna look, make sure I brought up everything I wanted to say. And right, so it's the unfreezing, which is like the unraveling, the slow unraveling of your identity and who you are, right? And then changing who you are by using tactics to wear you down. Like in the cult, a lot of them do sleep deprivation, food deprivation, propaganda. Like, we had these tapes we had to listen to, and that's why, oh, it reminds me of I was crocheting a lot last night while I was listening, and that, I tell you, this saved my mind because it gave me something to focus on. But I realized that I was slowly being changed into somebody like a soldier, and they would tell you, like, you're emptying yourself and filling yourself with Jesus, and we're making you a soldier in the army of God. So in some ways I kind of knew, but I didn't know what that meant. It definitely wasn't consent. So yeah, so I just wanted to put this out there and see what you all think. And I try to talk about things that are on my mind, but also as a cult survivor, but also things that maybe you can have a takeaway too, even if you're not a cult survivor or a survivor of um, toxic relationship. But many of us have been in toxic relationships or corporate situations or MLMs, you name it. There's all kinds of things that you can find yourself falling into an unhealthy group think. So yeah, I'm gonna read some of your, thank you, Georgie, for starting some of these comments. James still says, Vanessa, you were amazing, beautiful, and articulate. Absolutely. It was definitely a privilege to hear her story. Kelly Copter. Yes. You looked amazing. You're amazing. You are amazing. She is. She is. And the werewolf games, part 2 is today at, I think, 5 o'clock Eastern. And I don't know if you guys didn't see yesterday's, the first installment of it, you gotta watch it. It was awesome. I won't give any of it away, but it was so much fun to watch. Asen, right out of the playbook of a narcissist. First love bomb someone, then isolate, gaslight, and then abuse. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. We used to say, like, and listen to Marlene, and she'd be like, I love you all, and I've given my life for you. And she'd be like, I'll be here forever, and just like buttering us up and tell us how special we were. And yeah, a lot of us came from situations where we didn't feel special and we didn't get the love that we needed as, younger people. So, and growing up as well. Antics of a Mama Squirrel. I watched Werewolves twice yesterday, once closing my eyes and once watching. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll have to do that. I did close my eyes and I was like cooking, kind of walking around listening too. But then I go back and look at the chat because I was half modding, but there were real mods in there. They didn't really need me. Helicopter, yet still severely lacking in quality dad jokes. Luckily, we'll have you to provide that on Thursday. Yes, I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. Yeah, so Thursday. Well, I'll wait till I go through these comments, but I want to show you what I've been working on, and yeah, maybe I'll work on some of this while we chat after I read your comments. Kelly, no, don't make me cry. I adore you and your open heart for sharing with us all. Appreciate that, honey. And I love sharing my heart with you guys, and I get so much out of interacting and listening to what you have to say, or reading what you have to say, because you all have so much wisdom. I love it. Force of delightful nature. Desensitization happens slowly. It's so hard to catch in the moment. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about it, because yeah, it can be something that like I kind of, it creeps up on you, and then all of a sudden there's like something that's like a red flag, but I got so used to stuffing it down and overriding who I was, overriding the natural instincts or my own conscience, like something's not quite right. And I'm looking around like everybody else seems to be okay with it. Maybe I'm the wrong one. And then literally start gaslighting yourself. It's just crazy. The one true morphs differently normal is such a gradual shift in any cult or manipulative relationship. Bingo. That's absolutely right. That's what she said. I love that. Vanessa, that was a great interview last night. I couldn't leave the television, ended up eating a frozen dinner. What's really funny is I brought my dinner in, and I ended up crocheting, and yeah, I was happy. I didn't mind. All right. George Messy. Uh, Arts and crafts are the best therapy. They allow you to quiet your mind for hours at a time. Absolutely. Yeah, it's really been so helpful. Hey, Lori Plays. Gotta say those two. I know. Like, what happened? I don't know what happened. Thank you. Well, what had happened was, yeah, Hef and Alan gave me that one. And then another one came in the mail, and they had no idea what was going on. And then they realized that the company had made a mistake. So I told them, if they charge you, let me know, because I'll pay for it. But yeah, I don't even know myself. I think it's awesome. Vanessa, it was definitely a long one. Granny G figured the haunting antidote was perfect for Halloween. Yes, that was wild. And then someone was saying that Canada, for some reason, is even more haunted, which I think you were in Buffalo. So it's like not really still the US. But yeah, I'm very intrigued with that. We've got some old houses that they do. I'm not sure if they still do the ghost tours, but I did one not too long ago and I loved it. There's a lot of creepy houses here, but I can imagine those big cavernous or org buildings being haunted. Absolutely. Joel McCoy comment, there are a lot of comparisons to corporate life, to cults. The conform to survive, yep, is very close in many ways. Lots of people get sucked into that way of giving up your individual thinking. Absolutely true. You got it. Tony, to Joel, I agree. I was in corporate for many years and it only got worse as time went on. Groupthink. Yeah. My life in the corporate world was super culty. I've heard that over and over and over again. And yeah, even when I wouldn't consider myself in the corporate world, but I guess I was, and to a degree, I did. I managed a JCPenney's, so it was basically retail management, and Towards the end, it really, and that's why it ended, because I couldn't take it anymore. It did get very culty, and it got very controlling, where it was controlling the rest of my life. And there was more and more and more responsibilities being heaped on me. And when I got a quote promotion, because I had other expenses that came with it, like more expensive health insurance and things like that, it completely got rid of any raise that I got, and just heaped on so much more responsibility that it was overtaking my life. And I pretty much, that was the only job that I ever left that was not on the best terms with my boss. And I've really felt bad about it, but I just had to take a stand. It was too much. It was more than anyone should put up with. That's for sure. All right. I will go into the live chat at one point, but I wanted to do the stars. Yeah, you would know, Stay Spiria, I bet. Corporate life involves some of the cultiest words ever. Ooh, oh, that just makes me cringe. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry to you, but you know what I mean. I, that triggers me. Speaking of triggers, that term in the workplace triggers me. We are family. I worked somewhere that really pushed that, and it was horrific, culty experience that traumatized me. Yeah, that's not okay. There's family and there's work. And there's, I can understand, like, I hear it used here in this space too. And I understand that. I try not to be too hard on that, but at the same time, it is like slightly triggering, even when we're talking about recovery, because I think that it can really play on someone's emotions, because, oh, you belong here, you're family, and then you almost feel obligated because, like, they're family, right? I can't walk away, or I can't assert myself because they've done XYZ for me, and they're here for me. Anna from Canada. My husband and I were indoctrinated into high control groups as children, myself in Canada and my hubby in Syria. This is why we chose our son to grow up without a religion. There's another part to it. When he grows up, he can choose a religion if he would like to. This works the best for my family. Absolutely. We ended up, after we left the cult, we ended up having the same policy, if you will, because my youngest said he thought he was, and still thinks that he's an atheist, but not positive, but sort of. And I'm like, hey, whatever. I'm not going to shove it down anyone's throat. I don't even know really what I believe anymore. My husband's the most spiritual, I think, of all of us, but even he is very open-minded and doesn't pretend to know the truth. Walmart cheer. I've never heard that. The Walmart chair was so culty, I avoided the meetings. Oh, God. Oh, God. I can imagine. Like the hip hip hooray. Wow. Vanessa says, Lord Places sounds fascinating, horrifying. Have you ever heard of Penhurst? I inspected that old asylum for work and had crazy activity while there. Whoa. Yeah, Kelly lives in a big building that used to be something like that, a hospital or whatever. And I don't know if I've asked her if it's haunted. I think it is. It just seems it. It's very big, but it's beautiful too. Joel, I was a corporate rebel as well as a rebel in my family, raised by narcissists. I refused to conform. In both cases, it was not easy, but I was lucky, survived both. Yes, you are a survivor for sure, Joel. Oh, ghost tours in Williamsburg, St. Augustine, New Orleans. Yeah, I haven't been to Salem since I was a kid, and I don't live that far away from it. I was actually born near Salem in Haverhill. Oh, a ton of TV shows have been done at Penhurst. There's is it Ghost Hunters? I can't remember which show it was. If you look up the Houghton Mansion in North Adams, Massachusetts, very close to me, there they did one of those episodes about it, and it was wild. And I actually toured it, and they had like the little machines and like the Ghostbuster machines and stuff. They're like, oh, there's energy here, but it is really creepy. And the backstory of the family that live there, it's just crazy. So I think it's haunted. Yours is not haunted. Okay, so not haunted. It just looks so majestic. I'm sure you saged it, right? It's actually part of it's really cozy too, but it's just so big. Poet, I stayed in a haunted hotel in San Antonio, Texas when I lived there. I had plenty of good night's sleep that night. Wow, that's awesome. There's one not too close, not too far from me. It's maybe 20 minutes away, called the White House, and I think that they have rooms that are like quote haunted, and they do ghost tours. I'll have to check that out. So, yeah, so I wanted to show you what I was working on last night. And actually, I've been working on this all week. And I had a little contest last week to see if anybody could guess what I was going to be for Halloween. Well, I was a ladybug for one Halloween party, but for werewolves, I want to show you guys this. This is exclusive because I know there's a lot of people that aren't watching now that'll see it and be surprised. So basically, this is my headpiece. I could try to put it on, but I have to kind of arrange it a certain way and move the camera because these points go way high, right? So this is the hat, and I'm working on like a scarf because if you've seen the South Park version of Xenu, it's like it's got kind of like this kind of piece that goes this way, and then it's got like the gray kind of breastplate, I guess you'd call it, and then like a cape that's more like this color, this dark red. So, oh, thank you. So I'm just gonna use a sheet because I have a sheet this color. So I figure, I like homemade costumes. So I'm gonna use that as like a cape. But yeah, that's it. It was really fun to do that, the teeth and stuff. So I basically did a big version. I don't know if I have it here. No, I think it's in the other room. Of if you remember the bobblehead covers I used to make for the Mike Render bobbleheads. Yeah. So there's that. Hey Mark Turi, good to see you, friend. So I'm really excited about, is it tomorrow? Yeah. Tomorrow's Halloween already. Whatever works. That's right. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. Well, I told Kelly that after last year, because I dressed up as a wolf last year, I was like, how am I going to follow that? Because it was really fun to be like, I'm not a wolf. What are you talking about? I'm not a werewolf. But I was actually dressed as a wolf. So I'm like, what can I do? And I was like, I think I'm going to crochet something. So yeah. Yeah. So if anyone out there that crochets, it's actually fairly easy. What I did was I took double gray yarn. I had two skeins of the gray yarn, just red heart, cheapest yarn you can buy pretty much. And I made like a big rectangle, right? And then I just did a chain and turned it around and did a turn. And then I did like the little points, and I did double crochets, I think, or half double crochets all the way over. So it would kind of be sort of stiff, but not really be floppy, and they would curl. So yeah, I did that. And then I just did this kind of like pointy shape for the eyes, and also for that. And I just kind of sewed it all together. And then this has just a whole group of, I think these are triple crochets. So yeah, so it actually, if you know how to crochet, it really isn't hard to make. So I could try to do a pattern. I'm terrible because I just freeform. I just like crochet, and then it just becomes something, hopefully. Oh, I cannot wait to see you in that outfit. Yeah, I gotta get crochet. Maybe I'll work on this while I talk to you. How's that? And I won't keep you guys too long because it's going to be a big day of streaming today. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm not positive, but I might pop on later tonight. And if not, I will tomorrow. So, definitely gonna do a reaction stream to something. Oh, thank you, Lee. I love the stream with your boys playing recently. Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, that was really, really fun. Silly, but fun. Joel, this year for Halloween, I'll be an old bald man as same as every other day. There you go. And you'll be a cat dad, right? Mm. James Taylor, Maryland, I love how you follow the direction the chat goes in. Yeah, I mean, once I get out what I want to say and get your input, then we can talk about whatever, you know? But thank you. Appreciate that. Asen, love the show Salem. Made the main witch Mary Sibley as a doll. Oh, really? With her familiar frog or toad. Oh, awesome. Scientology up north, Miriam. I'm more afraid of what I can't see than what I can see. That is a really good point. I'm going to keep that because I want to say something about that. That's another thing I've been thinking about, kind of similar to what you're saying. Thank you, Kelly, for playing werewolves again this year. Absolutely. Mark, yeah, you did great. That's awesome. You surprised me, Mark. You were feisty. I freaking loved it. You were a great player. So, yeah, I want to put this out again. You know, this is a really good point because I was thinking about something along these lines this week is when you take the mystique and mystery out of something, it loses its power oftentimes, right? And this whole control thing, right? At first, I really let it bother me because these unknown, you know, unnamed, faceless people, not even people, trolls, were well, I guess they are people behind the scenes, were doing these things that are like meant to like needle you, bring you down. I don't even think they care about the numbers. It's like they're trying to get to you. So I started just shutting them out and not listening to them at all. But at the same time, people would tell me or whatever. And it was always this weird foreboding, right? And it never really bothered me, people that I know the names of that put themselves out there, write stupid blog articles and things to attack people and all that. If I knew their name, I didn't really, it just lost the mystique. But these nameless trolls, slinking around and saying stuff about me, it would kind of bother me. And it doesn't really anymore. But also, like, when I find out who they are, it's like, oh, okay. And it just completely takes all of the fear and mystique away from it. And I'm like, oh, it's that guy? Oh my God. Or it's that one? Oh, seriously? you know? And then, yeah, it takes its power away and it no longer bothers me anymore. It's just like, okay, I can just, kind of brush it off. So, yeah, I wanted to mention that. Doug, I know, I was thinking about him all day yesterday, especially during werewolves. He was the best at it. One of the things I loved about streaming with Doug, the times that I did, was the banter. It was like so natural and he was just so much fun to talk to. And I don't know, I felt like he got me, right? Like my stupid jokes or my weird like rabbit holes I would go down or line of thinking. Yeah, he was just so accepting. It was just so much fun. How does a zombie wash their hair? Is that what it's supposed to be? Head and shoulders. Yeah. That's a good one, James. Doug was so good at werewolves. Hey, Lisa. Great to see you. It's been a little while. I miss Doug all the time. Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe another month and a half, another 5 or 6 weeks. It'll be a year. Yeah. He really got me too. Yeah. He was just so down to earth. Yeah. I know, Cal. All right, I'm getting emotional now. Yeah. I think he'd want you to do werewolves this year. I do. Yes, I'm so glad you caught alive. That's awesome. So good to see you. Oh, I got a couple more starred. Old Frizz. Yeah, you were there the whole time, Old Frizz. Love your chat with Erin last night to Vanessa. You did so well. Very engaging. I know some of it must have been hard to talk about too. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone in the chat was sending lots of love and hugs and hearts. George said, Joel, you really need to dress up as the Cat in the Hat from there you go. Why not? Wish I'd signed up for werewolves. Yeah, I told Duncan he should do it next year with us. That would be funny. Oh, thank you, Old Frizz. Thank you. Oh yeah. Poet, you're gonna be playing tomorrow too? Yeah. I'm not sure who's on today. I wonder if Kelly has the list up yet. Let's look. Videos. Scheduled for, okay, today's the 30th, right? Let's pop this up. I'm so excited. This is festive. I love it. Okay. Oh, we gotta like it. So it's in 4 hours, guys. Don't forget. Oh, to be announced. Interactive. Yeah, I guess it's going to be a surprise. That's exciting. I'm in a cat cult. It's all about positivity. Oh, you're doing the list now? All right. Yay. I'm excited. Natalie said she's on tonight. Okay. Oh, on werewolves. I think is she tomorrow or tonight? Or maybe she's doing another stream besides this one. This toke is for Doug. Yeah. Let's do. That's what his version of Xenu Marlene. He would toke, and I would take a sip. Right now it's tea. But Xenu Marlene, everyone. Everybody partake. All right, so you're doing the list. We'll watch right after your other live. Okay. Oh, refresh the page. Okay. I will do that. I didn't mean to make you work so hard, Cal. All right. Let's do it. More. Oh, players. Oh, yay. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, we got Ego Next Door. Let's see if we can make it bigger. So let me make it bigger. Oh, there we go. Can you see it better? Okay, there we go. We've got Jen Hachia is Ego Next Door. SPTV Atlanta. I'm not sure who that is. Feral Cheryl on the loose. So we got Feral Cheryl again. That's a treat. Gabrielle escaping the cultivars. Yay. Acupunk. Oh, she's awesome. Breezy Report. Not sure who that is. Breezy. Is that Chicago? Not sure. And Jersey Jan. Oh, and CC Rucka Smith. Oh, is this CC? Oh, I think I've seen her. Her channel? There she is. Awesome. Okay, I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, Laurie Plays. You definitely got to do it next year. Totally. Keeping us all in suspense. Right? All right. Yeah. So, soapbox. Keep an eye on your pets. Halloween is a danger for them. Yes, that is true. Thank you for that PSA. Oh, I wouldn't say it's a soapbox, but I love when you do your soapbox announcements. Love it. So yeah, I hope I get this done. I think I will because I don't have any like major things going on today. So Trying to figure out how thick to make it. Might as well just make it like a real scarf, It's really long. So trying to think of how it's a little bit stiff. Maybe I can soften it a little bit. So yeah, maybe a little bit bigger, but it's pretty long. Yeah. We'll see. Don't forget to confront and shatter that like button. Thank you, Antics of a Mama Squirrel. Yeah, if you could smash that like, that would be awesome. What do we always say? If it's all Aaron's fault, please smash the like. If Scientology is a cult, please smash the like. If you like Halloween, smash the like. Must be one of those things, right? Oh, you were Mick killed. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Mick killed at McTown, which turned out to be theocracy. I love how they're like, where were you last night, Mark? And you're like, I was eating McNuggets or something like that. Oh, that's great. Yeah, the mayor thing is really funny. Kevin was awesome. You all were. It was just great. But yeah, I like the whole mayor thing. That was funny. So this year, I think instead of a doctor, what did they have? Was it a witch that healed people? I can't remember. People that got saved. And then the medium is still there. I think I might have been the medium. I'm trying to remember what I was last year. I played twice. And the first time I think I was just a regular citizen. Yeah. And then the second time I was some character. I want to say I was medium, but I can't remember. Eating McNuggets in McDonald's and reading Macbeth before you went to sleep. Yeah. That is such a combination. I don't know. I think it leaves you susceptible to werewolves. Kevin, he kept saving himself at first. Oh, because he was it the witch? I'm trying to remember who saved people. Yeah. Joe McCoy, since his death, there has not been a day that Doug has not been spoken of. This is proof at how big an impact he had. We can only hope to have such an impact. May he rest in peace. Yes, absolutely. He did impact so many lives, and his memory is kept alive through everyone talking about him and remembering him, Which can heal or poison. Okay, that's right. Oh, hi, Incarnasoul. It was great to meet you. It was awesome. And Poet said, when I suggested McTown, it wasn't being serious. Well, it stuck. You made fetch happen. Just saying. As Giorgio would say, right, Giorgio? I think Steve Spurrier made him watch Mean Girls so he'd understand about the whole making fetch happen. Doug was an amazing friend. He absolutely was. Yeah. Yeah, I love friends like that. A little rough around the edges, Will always tell you the truth. Yeah. Oh, the priest. Okay, blessed people. Okay, that's right. So they saved people. Okay. The priest was the one that saved people. That's right. I'm sorry, I thought I was paying attention, but some of it was going so fast. McTown totally stuck. It really did. That worked out great. That's why it was a theocracy. I love it. So what are we at? About 49 minutes. I'll probably wind down soon. I just wanted to hop in, say hello. It's been a few days. I didn't have any, major agenda except for what I've been thinking about, about cult mind control and whatever, you can apply it to or not. So anyways, I will see you in the chats. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff going on today. Just keep your notifications on, and I'll definitely see you all at Werewolves later. So, all right, everyone, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye. Inu Marlene, everybody partake. Cheers. This is good coffee. This is why, my hubby makes the coffee.